Hello and welcome to Lobricks. This is our Star Wars LEGO Hoth MOC. Last week we finished the rest of the front of Echo Base Mountain, just waiting for our shield generator. This week it's back to finishing the floor of Echo Base. So we're going to put more white flooring on this and more cool little objects. So let's get to it. Alright, so much of Echo Base has this kind of rough flooring, this trodden upon flooring, except in one place along here behind the X-Wing bays. I guess you could call these hangar bays inside the base. And this was one of the very earliest parts that we built, so it's probably about time that we put some rough flooring in here. So as far as how much flooring I need to put along here, I want it similar to this, maybe not as active, but it's going to be pretty similar. I'm also going to spread a little bit of greeble in the middle of the actual landing bay, but just slightly, because this is going to be open, because this is where the speeders fly in and out, the X-Wings fly in and out, so they're going to keep this runway pretty clear. Don't forget to stick around to the very end, as me and Assistant are going to be putting some more minifigures on the board. So with that, let's lay some groundwork. Okay, so there is the greeble on the front half of the hangar bays. Greeble. And it mirrors this pretty well, the old trodden upon soil. And I left the middle part still pretty open. We were going to sprinkle in some studs and trod upon ground. And now I need to move to the back half of the hangar. So you have to complete this section, so we can have that entire side matching the rest of Echo Base. Alright, before I go any further, I thought I would show you guys my technique for putting down trodden upon snow. So real quick, I'm just going to show you. Start with some 1x3s, 2x2 plates, and I am trying to connect where the underlying plates, the base plates, come together, so it gets them a little more secure. Easier said than done sometimes. There we go. Another favorite piece when I'm putting down the snow is the little 1x2, I guess they're L-shaped 1x2s. Put a few of those down. A few more 2x2s. And I want to have them going in different directions, so there's never like a long line of studs in either direction, like this. Then I cap it off with 1x1 round studs, I guess you just call them studs, that are open, and then the ones that are closed, like this one. And I try to put a healthy amount of these down, almost like where you don't go 3 studs without at least getting one of them. And then also I fill in with the 1x1 square bricks, like this. And I'll put in a few more 1x1 rounds. There. There. And then I also want to go a little outside of the hangar area into the runway, so I'll build out just a bit behind, just a bit past these vent plates here. There we go. And again, fill in with some 1x1 round studs. Trying to go so there's no more than a 3 stud gap between. And we'll go out a little further with this one, just to tie that down. All right, so now that you've kind of seen the technique, I'm going to switch back over to super hyperlapse mode and finish putting down the trodden upon snow on this side of the hangar bay. All right, now we have trod upon snow, or a greeble, I guess it's greeble, down on the floor for the majority of Echo Base. There's a few more places that I want to place it. I want to put a little greeble in the runway itself, just to make it look not so super uniform. As you know, they probably cleared the runway so ships could get in and out, including the speeders. Same thing with the troop carrier. That it's pretty clear, but we're going to add a little bit of greeble just so it doesn't look so plain. And then last but not least, we're going to add some trod upon snow between these separator lights for the track for the troop carrier, and we already went beyond the landing strip lights. So first, let's put some greeble in the middle of the runway. All right, well, there we go. I think it's just enough to make it look not so artificial, not so super clean. So that looks pretty good. Now, the last piece that I want to do with this before we add the new components to the board is put a little trodden upon snow right at the edge of the MOC in between these runway lights. So let's do it. All right, well, here is the troop transport path. Once again, it doesn't look super clean, which is what we want. They can't keep the snow off of there all the time. And then we filled in the edges with some more trod upon snow as the Echo Base stretches out this way, even though our MOC ends right here. So let's do a quick look over of Echo Base. The groundwork's looking pretty cool. One last spot I want to do some groundwork, which is back here, but I'm going to wait before that builds up. And of course, we still have to do some groundwork inside of the control room. But for this week, I think that is going to do it for the groundwork. So now, let's get some componentry, some Hoth componentry and whatnot, some widgets and some sprockets and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so we're going to put down 3 heater units, and these are also going to be what we use out front to kind of power the various turrets and the guns, but they're going to be in all black. Out in the trenches, these will be used as power units for the guns. Then we also have these little personal size units, which come in handy when you want to melt and get Princess Leia's clothes all wet. And then we have these 2 little ground nozzles, I'm assuming for underground tanks, either fuel tanks or water tanks or whatever. Then just a little box that we'll put along one of the hallways somewhere. All right, so now we need to decide where to put these things. First things first, I think we want a heater unit kind of right on the edge of the MOC here. Right about there. Keep all the fellas warm in the hangar bay. Ooh. And then same thing along here. I'm going to put one, let's move this guy out here a little bit. And we'll put a heater bay right in the middle. Actually, that might get in the way. Let's move it forward a little bit and over. This guy on the outside. There we go. Keep everybody nice and warm in the hangar bays. And we have one more left. We have this one under Han Solo ship here, and we have that little personal heater unit there. Where could we put it? Somewhere that's not going to melt a bunch of stuff either. So, you know what? Maybe I'll move the sabotage droid. No, he's too good there. He's Gets a good bird's eye view of the entire base so we can sabotage all kinds of stuff. Dirty Empire droid. So where could we put this last one? Can't believe we're running out of space to put stuff. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with my first instinct. And put it back here. Plug it into the ground. If I can manage. Alright, there we go. Now, the command center right there. So there's kind of some in the hallway, one right in the middle. And then these nozzles, which will go in the ground. I'm going to put one back here towards the edge of the base. And the other one, actually I think I'm going to stick it right, oh no, there's one, there's literally one right there, Leaky, come on. Jeez, Leaky, it's a good thing you're not a Hoth Echo Base ground engineer for logistics, heating and cooling, and fluid dynamics and such. You'd be awful at it. Okay, I'm just going to put it up here right on the edge of where the troop transport would be, in an area where we are going to, fill out some more groundwork at a later date. And last but not least, we have this little box here, this little like storage box. I kind of wanted to put that in one of the hallways. We already have a storage box in the Wampa room. Oh, wait a minute, what is going on here? Looks like the Wampa's been eating at him a bit. I'm gonna just sort him out. Oh geez, his arm's over here. Leave this Wampa alone for a few days, he just starts playing with his food. Bad Wampa. So anyways, we have a little box in there. So let me see, where could we put this piece of Greeble? Greeble. I guess I could put it in the corner here. Actually, that's not a bad spot. Kind of breaks up that little room. There's nothing going on in there anyways. So there we go. We've got our Greeble down. Echo Base is looking a lot more filled out, a lot more detailed, which is what we want. So with that, I know not terribly exciting building episode, but that is going to do it for the building. We have to put all these details down. So I'm going to go get assistant, have him check this out, and we'll put some minifigures down.
All right, so here we are at Hoth, and as you can see, Leaky Trooper has done a very bang-up job at greebling up everything. As you can see now through our hangers and into our hand scene over here, we have tons of greeble that moves throughout the entirety of Echo Base. It does look really, really good, and I think if you were to see this MOC in person with just the flat panels and then now with all of this greeble work done, you truly can see the difference. And I don't know if that's really picking up on camera. So everything is looking pretty cohesive here, which is always good to see. It finally looks really good here, because before it was, I don't know, it was something about not having this line where these folks were walking over here and having this. It just felt incohesive. So now Echo Base really feels all in one. And as you know, last week we just finished up doing this, which works really well because now we have a wall back here. We're going to be doing some work over here in the future. So Echo Base is definitely really coming along, which is actually kind of the majority of the MOC if you think about it. It's like, well, you're going to be doing building out here for sure, but you know, for most of the MOC is actually located within inside Echo Base. The base itself, the mountain, and then all of the rooms inside. Where outside the MOC, we really just got the trench, maybe a couple scenes that are out in the open, and then of course, the Wampa Cave. So we really had to start to really boogie on Echo Base here, so looking really good. But I think that's gonna do it for the build portion of this video. But don't worry, we still have to place down some minifigures. So this week, I think what we're gonna do is, there's quite a lot of people working in here, but I think that there needs to be a little more traffic, because in the movie we do see quite a lot of people working and typing things. So what we're going to do is on these control panels here, we are going to add some folks. And here they are. We've got this guy right here who looks like maybe a senior tech. He knows his stuff. This is in his first year fighting the Empire, you know, because he's got the gray hair. And we're just going to have him in here working on this. And then we have maybe like, you know, like the electrician's apprentice who's there just to poke around and get electrocuted. So he's gonna be working on this. So that is gonna be our figures for this week, and I think it does definitely add a lot to the scene now because it looks like there's a bunch of stuff going on, a lot of people mingling about, typing on their keyboards and fixing various dudes and dods, so looking good. All right, so those are gonna be the figures for this episode, and I definitely think these are gonna be a good fit here because, as you know, I really want there to be a lot of figures roaming about, and I think it makes the room look lively. Speaking of which, if you have any suggestions on where we should put figures, definitely leave them in the comments below, and we might select it for next week's video. Also, if you want to see future plans, like what might this Tauntaun be here doing here? What is he doing? It's a mystery. Nobody knows. Definitely check out our member program because then you can see all behind the scenes stuff. We do plan out videos. You get to see ahead to next week's videos. So it's all sorts of cool stuff there. So definitely check that out. But if not, guys, I'll see you in the next one because that's actually going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching.